This is probably the most important video I've ever made to date, especially for people who are new to the QA software testing space. So today, we have a serious issue to talk about. Unfortunately, people will take advantage of you if it means they can profit in some way. If somebody could scam you or take advantage of you in a software testing space, they may do it. And personally, I take offense to that. Because one of my goals for the next 5 years was to help at least 100 people get their first job in the QA space. But now, people are getting discouraged and turned away because they think every possible entry point is a scam. And honestly, I don't blame them, which is why I make free content to help people and educate them to possibly make and see what's a good decision or a not so good decision. As I mentioned in previous videos, you have various ways to learn a skill set of being a software tester. You have being self-taught, courses, boot camps, and universities. However, when a certain boot camp or university or course instructor wants you to pick their way of learning over somebody else's, they may mislead you or tell you misinformation so you can pick them. And when you are new to the field and just starting out and possibly even desperate, these companies, organizations, universities, or just people may take advantage of you. And now, if you're not new to my channel, you might be thinking, but TestLead, I've been to your website. You offer courses on your website. Aren't you being a little hypocritical? No, I'm fully transparent with everything that I do. And being fully transparent and honestly speaking, in this video here, just like all my videos, probably in the middle, you'll see a short 10-second ad from me saying, hey, if you need help on your software testing journey, check out my website. So you're probably like, what gives? Like I said, I'm fully transparent. I've mentioned it video after video. You don't need any boot camp or course or university to learn information. And that's coming from somebody who sells courses. You can learn everything for absolutely free on the internet. Now, let's break down some possible red flags that you should watch out for, and when you see them, what you should do. Boot camps, courses, and universities help give you structure and organization and can help expedite your process. But by no means are any of them required. Like I said, I sell a course and still tell you that. If you need the guidance and extra help, then yes, go for one of them. But if anybody tells you you must buy their course or boot camp or go to their university because it's the only way to learn a skill set, they're lying to you. So no matter how good the company's sales pitch is or who recommended it to you, before investing your money into it, do your research. Make sure it's valid and going to be worth it. Now, let's break down some possible red flags that you should watch out for, and when you see them, what you should do. First, we have these high starting salaries. At this point, every week or every other week, I get an email asking, is it true that I can make 6 figures or $100,000 as a beginner, manual, or human QA tester? I always reply respectfully, well, who told you this information? Was it part of their sales pitch so you can buy something from them? Then they always say, 9 times out of 10, oh yes, it was this company or this person. And they said, in my first year, I can make this crazy amount of money. So now, here's my answer. Yes, surprisingly, it is possible to make 6 figures or $100,000 as a QA tester. But is it likely? No. Especially not as a manual or human tester. It's also possible for me to win the lottery or go to the NBA. Those are both physically possible. But is it likely for me to win the lottery or go to the NBA? No. The percentages are very small. The same thing applies to possibly ever making 6 figures just starting out. Can you eventually reach that threshold? Yes, of course. But just starting out, near impossible. I'm not trying to discourage you, but I'd rather you have a realistic standpoint for entering the field. If you're curious about the potential starting salaries for just starting out, I have a separate video diving deep into that. But in short, go to Glassdoor.com. It's a free website that provides information about companies' salaries, interview questions, company culture, and other things, all for free. It's a free resource, use it. So go to Glassdoor.com and type in QA engineer salaries. If you're a manual or human tester, search for manual testing. If you're doing automation, search for automation or SDET, which means software developer, engineer, and test. Then, once that information gets returned to you, you now have a ballpark answer about expected salaries. But now, take it a step further. For years of experience, enter between 0 and 1. Because when you're first starting out, that's your experience level. So put 0 to 1. That number is going to decrease a little bit. Don't get discouraged. It's just making it more realistic for you. Now, scroll down and enter your current location for where you live at. If you live in a high cost of living place, that number may increase. If you live in a low cost of living place, that number may decrease. Now, honestly speaking, the original number that you thought in your head about a starting salary is probably a lot higher than what you're seeing on the screen. So now, the reality check. You probably was expecting some crazy high number, but what you see now, that number is lower. I honestly can still say, whatever number you see for wherever you live at, is probably a good number for the cost of living. You should be able to live comfortably for where you live at, off a software testing or QA salary. It'll be higher for automation, lower for manual, but either way, it should be a livable wage for where you live at. Next, we have the good old money back guarantee. The money back guarantee is a big one, and why many people may choose one program over another. It's like you're buying a used car, you're in a lot, and they say, well, we have a warranty for if anything happens, you can just bring it back. That's kind of how some of these money back guarantees work, where, yeah, it sounds good, but what's the fine print and details? What actually qualifies for you to get your money back in full? This concept, I support it, because usually it's if you don't find a job within a certain time period, you get your money that you paid all back in full. Sounds good. However, many people throughout the years have reached out to me saying this company didn't follow through on it, or they make you jump through hoops to actually get it. This is why reading the fine print and details of any contract that you sign is very important. Some companies have special criteria that you must meet to actually qualify for the money back guarantee. Things can include attending all their lessons, doing all their homework by a certain date, applying to X amount of jobs daily and showing proof that you applied, sending updates in a timely manner, and so on. A person recently reached out to me saying that they didn't apply for a money back guarantee for a boot camp because they had to cancel their meeting with an online career coach from that boot camp. And I asked, well, didn't you reschedule it? And they was like, yes, they tried to, but every time they tried to, the other person was busy and so on. And because they couldn't connect with their coach again, they're no longer eligible for the money back guarantee because part of it was meeting every meeting with your coach. So now, when they have these money back guarantees, what should you do? Before signing up, make sure you read all the requirements. Ask questions. Ask them clearly, straight out. What must I do to qualify for the money back guarantee? Before you sign up. That way, you know in advance, okay, I must attend all these classes, go to these meetings. Okay, I have it all written out to make sure that I'm staying on top of it. So that worst case, if I don't find a job, I can at least get my money back. The next red flag that you may face are the success stories and reviews. Success stories and reviews can help give you some social validation about making a decision. You think, well, this person had a good experience, so hopefully I had that same experience. The thing is, companies know this. So they may have fake or bot reviews, which usually if it's a bot, the language is easy to tell that, yeah, no person actually wrote this. That's one problem. 2, just legit fake reviews. Those are harder to decipher between. And then success stories, which is a whole nother subject. They may say, yes, Jack got a job after finishing our program. And that's it. They're very vague. But how long did it take Jack to get this job? How many jobs did Jack apply for? What company did Jack even get a job with? Is that company a real company? So by them being vague, you have to question, what are they hiding? Other more detailed success stories are obviously fraudulent and fake. The thing is, it's obvious to somebody who's already in the field because we know how the field operates. To somebody who's new and doesn't know about the field and isn't involved in the field yet, they may not know and think, oh, the success story is realistic and I could obtain the same thing that this fake person obtained. Which, once again, people are preying on you and your lack of knowledge in a certain topic. I don't like that. Recently, I got a video suggested to me saying this person became a QA manager within a year. They had no experience at all, was new to the field, and within a year, they became a QA manager. Do you know how crazy that sounds? Once again, if you aren't in the field, you might fall for this. But anybody who's actually in the field for a few years, they can quickly say, yeah, that's not realistic. That's not real. A QA manager manages other QA testers. It takes anybody, no matter how good you are, years to actually develop the skill set to become a good QA tester. And you're telling me within 1 year from having no experience to being in the field, you went from being entry level, junior, senior, lead, and becoming a manager of a QA department, and you're managing other QA testers? That's laughably funny. But like I said, if you don't know, you're gonna believe that. Everybody has heard this before. If it sounds too good to be true, there's a good chance that it's not true. The same thing applies here. Realistically, nobody's going from having no experience to a senior position in less than 5 years. Just being transparent. So if part of their sales pitch is something like that, I wouldn't suggest you going with them. So yeah, I realized that this video will be a little bit longer than my regular videos. So I got comfortable. I'm sitting on the couch now. And remember in the beginning how I said, during this video, somewhere in the middle, you're gonna hear me say, short break. And I tell you about, if you need help on your software testing journey, check out my website. I have courses and programs. And if you just wanna message me, ask me questions, do all that on my website. And as you can see, short, straight to the point, no crazy sales pitch with a bunch of promises, no. If you want help, you can go to the website, see if anything there interests you. If not, oh well. And now, back to the video. So what should you do if you're researching a company and you see a success story or a testimonial that just looks too good to be true? A person went from having no experience to a QA lead in a couple of months. If anything sounds suspicious, question it. Not everything that shines will be gold. And if you do see these unbelievable testimonials and they're trying to push it on you as part of their sales pitch, see it as a red flag, because they're trying to mislead you with false information to get your confidence and your money. If they have regular testimonials about regular people getting regular entry-level jobs, that's more realistic, and that's what you're aiming for. So aim for companies or courses or programs that have those testimonials. But when they say that this candidate knew nothing, they then took my boot camp or program, and their entry-level job was a level 5 Google Analytics QA master, just be like, okay, I'm closing this browser out. I'm not entertaining this company anymore. The other thing is, some of these reviews could be bots, fake people, or just random people. So usually if they have their name as part of the review, look them up on LinkedIn and see, is this person, Jane Doe, actually working for the company or corporation that they mentioned in their review? If you go to their LinkedIn profile and it says professional actor, well then you have your answer. Next on our list, we have internships, which is an interesting one because I actually like the idea of internships. In the real world, every company wants somebody who has experience, but no company wants to give you that initial experience. Internships help bridge that gap by giving you that initial experience to put on your resume and LinkedIn profiles. So like I said, the concept I love, but not all internships are created equally. If you're working for an internship, especially an unpaid one, you want to make sure that you're getting what you want out of it, which is real experience and exposure to the real world. Normally, it takes at least 2 weeks to 2 months to even start to understand what's going on in a company. So your internship should be at least 2 weeks to a month, so you're getting at least the basics. People have emailed me saying, yes, this program or boot camp has a 1 week expedited internship. What can you possibly learn and understand in 1 week? Let's be honest. In the first week, you're trying to just remember who your boss's name is and who your teammates are. That's week 1. And start to think about what the company actually does. As far as the tools, methodologies, and principles, that takes time to actually understand and become comfortable with. Next, you want to make sure that the company that you're interning with is a real company. Or is it a made-up company that they're just using you for free work? Because if you can't Google that company can't be put on your resume. Because if I'm interviewing you and it says you had an internship at company XYZ, and I say, company XYZ, I've never heard of them. Who are they? And I do a Google search, can't find them. I'm gonna think, oh, this person just lied to me. They just pretended to have internship experience at a made-up company. They're being deceitful. I'm automatically excluding them from any further interviews. So if they're selling you on a fake internship, be wary. What should you do? Ask them if there is an internship, who is it with? What is the length of the internship? What will you be doing in the internship? If it's an in-person internship, make sure you're not just getting them coffee, because that's how old school internships were, where you'll just be the secretary basically for the team. And you'll do all the tedious stuff and all the other things that no one else wants to do, like getting them coffee. So make sure if you're investing your time and energy and finances in an internship, you're getting what you pay for. I promise we're getting towards the end. We have 2 more. Next, the job guarantee. Logically, no company can guarantee you a job after taking their learning method, because no job is hiring you directly. They're just there teaching you the information and giving you the tools to succeed. But as far as guaranteeing that you'll get a job, that's very hard to do, because they're not there on the interviews doing the interview for you. The interview is what gets you the job. You can have the best resume with the best experience, but if you bomb your interviews, you're not going to get hired. So when a company says they can guarantee you'll get a job, you should question it. You're going to guarantee I get a job with who? A legit company or a made-up company? That's where we go back to what's real and what's not. Next, we have job assistance. Everybody offers job assistance, but the term job assistance is very vague. Are they just helping you and telling you what sites that you can apply for? Because I can do that right now. Apply on Glassdoor, Monster, LinkedIn, Google Jobs. There you go. I just gave you some job assistance. So are they just giving you those basics? Or are they going more in depth and helping you say, no, this job here will be a better pick for you? Or no, apply for these companies and these industries because they closely match your current resume. So when they offer job assistance, just ask them to what level. And finally, last but not least, and probably the most important, which is why I saved it to last. Who is teaching you the information? Who are the instructors who made the course? Who are the actual professors at a university? And what are their resumes? Is it people who just entered the field right before you and they barely know a little bit more than you? Or is it experienced people who've worked at different companies in the real world? Because that means a lot. When you're asking questions to an instructor or a professor, if they had no real experience, how can they tell you how the field really is? Are they going to base it off of just Google articles? Because it's one thing to read something and it's another to actually experience it. Think about swimming. Would you take swimming instructions from somebody who just read a book or from somebody who actually swims on a daily basis. Somebody who reads a book can say, oh yes, just go right arm, left arm, and practice your strokes. And then throw you in the water. With that instruction, there's a good chance, even though it sounds good, you're gonna drown. But if you have somebody who swims every day, they can say, yes, you have to make sure your body's parallel to the bottom of the water, and then go left arm, twist your whole body, then go right arm, alternate, kick your feet. They can give you more details because they have real experience in the field to base the information on. So now, what should you do? A lot of these boot camps, universities, programs will tell you who their instructors are, and they usually list what companies they've worked for. If they don't, you can just inquire and say, well, if this is a live boot camp or a university, what professors will be teaching the information? LinkedIn is kind of the gold standard for anything job related. You should be able to look up most people on LinkedIn to see their resume and their bio. So if they say, yes, we have all these instructors that worked at Google and Amazon and other giant companies, and then you ask, well, what are their names? So I can look them up and confirm this. You should be able to get their names and say, okay, Jack Doe, yes, it says on LinkedIn, he worked at Amazon from 2011 to 2015. That checks out. Versus, no, this person doesn't even exist. And now, let me start to wrap it up because I know this video is getting long. But I feel a lot of information is going to be useful if you're trying to learn how to be a software tester, either manual or automation. Because there's a million ways out there for you to learn. But I want to make sure that you're learning and not getting scammed in the process. So rule number 1, you can learn everything for free on the internet. If anybody tells you different, they're misleading you. Yes, it'll take more time, you have to have more patience, it'll be a lot more trouble, a lot more headaches, but it is still possible for free. If you plan to invest in your learning, that can help expedite your process, give you structure. Some programs have internships and other benefits. That's a good option if you could afford it and have the finances. But make sure, whatever program you choose, whether it's mine, Jack, this university, this bootcamp, whatever it is, no matter who you heard it from, do your own research first. That way, if it doesn't work out, you have nobody to blame but yourself. So take responsibility and invest a few hours. Say, okay, who's teaching this program or this course or this bootcamp? What's the reputation of this program? Do they have good reviews, bad reviews? Can I find other people who've taken it in the past? Do they have any partners? What's their sales pitch? Are they selling me on these outlandish misbeliefs and misinformation? Or are they just being straight? Take all that into consideration before making your choice. If you found this video helpful at all, please like, share, and subscribe. And most importantly, don't forget this part, learn something new today.